It's your boy David, aka SouloMind, and welcome to The Spotlight. This is where we highlight some of the best African American entertainers in the business, learn about their stories, and even take away lessons from their journeys. This is The Spotlight. Megan Thee Stallion has quickly become one of Hollywood's new it girls and a huge force in the hip-hop industry within the last few years. Hailing from Houston, Texas, Megan commanded the attention of the audiences all across the world with her larger-than-life presence, her boldness, her hard-hitting rap style, her sexy lyrics, and her extremely fun personality. And let's not forget, she had all the girls all over the world having a hot girl summer. Oh, which is a phrase that she successfully trademarked. Okay. Megan has had 3 projects debut within the top 10 of the Billboard 200, including her latest album, Good News. She's had 2 #1 singles on the Hot 100 charts, Savage Remix with the Queen Beyonce.
I'm a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet.
And then of course WAP with Cardi B.
He bought a phone just for pictures of his wet and gushy.
In 2020, she performed on some of the most major platforms in the industry, like the BET Awards, the American Music Awards, the Apple Music Awards, and Saturday Night Live. And Megan's music is always sparking awesome challenges on TikTok. Everybody knows the Savage Challenge, and now Megan has everybody doing the body challenge. Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. When I tell you this girl is booked and busy, Megan has been booked and busy, okay? And she's just getting started. Music has always been a part of Megan's life. Her mother, Holly Thomas, aka Hollywood, was a rapper who made a name for herself in the Houston area in the early 2000s. Now, growing up as a little kid, Holly would take Megan to the studio with her, different sessions, and so on and so on. She would also introduce Megan to a lot of music from artists like Pimp C, Bun B, and 3 6 Mafia. All of those artists would heavily influence Megan Thee Stallion as she got older. Megan has stated that she started making rhymes at 7 years old. And by the time she was 18, she knew that she wanted to be a rapper. So one day she said, "Mom, I want to rap just like you." Okay, I don't know if she said it in those right words, but she said, "Mom, I want to rap just like you." Her mom said, "Okay, but first I want you to wait till you're 21, and then I need you to graduate from college first." So Megan enrolled into Texas Southern University, where she began to study health administration. And it was real cool because Megan actually began to blow up while she was in college. So it was cool as fans for us to see her studying, doing her homework, studying for exams while she's freaking Megan Thee Stallion, going on tour and everything like that. So it was good to see that. And she is still actively pursuing her degree right now. As I'm always reading articles and, watching interviews and podcasts about Megan, several artists, that's just what I do. There's always a theme that I've always noticed with Megan, and that is she had a strong foundation growing up. And she always credits the same people with being the person that she is now. That is her mother, her 2 grandmothers, and her father. Now, all these people instilled a lot of values into Megan Thee Stallion when she was young. One of those biggest values was confidence. Megan has repeatedly said that her mother and her father always told her how beautiful she was growing up. They always let her know that she was gorgeous, she was a beautiful young lady. So when she went out into the world, she wouldn't be looking for something. You understand what I'm saying? She already knew that she was beautiful. That same confidence was given to her by her grandmothers. They taught her who she was as a woman. This is where all the boldness and confidence comes from. It comes from her parents, it comes from her family. Even when she first started rapping, Megan has said that her mother, may she rest in peace, was always with her every step of the way. She was even her manager. She taught her how to utilize her studio time, how to work more efficiently and productively in the studio, things like that. And these are lessons that Megan continues to live by even now when she's recording, which is really good. This confidence and boldness that came from her family that was taught to her would help her tremendously with one of the darkest times in her life. This incident, of course, I'm talking about is the incident with Tory Lanez that we all know about, where she was allegedly shot in the foot by him. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about people's perceptions of how they view victims, especially black women. With all of the allegations against Tory Lanez, of course, this became a media frenzy all over social media, and everybody had their input and everybody had their opinions about what they think happened that night of the shooting. But what was interesting about this situation is that a lot of the opinions seem to be against Megan and for Tory. This is right around the time that we were all protesting for Breonna Taylor, who was shot and killed by police officers in her home while she slept. So America at this time is out protesting and being very vocal for the justice for Breonna Taylor. But when it came to Megan Thee Stallion, she didn't quite get that same outpour of love. People, of course, said she was lying. People said that's what she gets. People said this came with the industry. This is what she looks forward to. This is what she gets. A lot of people just were not here for it. Well, all of that sparked a huge conversation piece, and that was protect our black women. Are our black women protected by the black men and women in our community? Alright, I'm going to pause the video right here because it's time to see if you guys have been paying attention to what I've been saying so far, okay? I'm going to ask you a question and then I'm going to give you some time to answer that said question, okay? Question is, what college did Megan Thee Stallion attend? I'm going to give you that answer towards the end of this video. Now, Megan was initially silent about this situation, but because of all the criticism and everyone on social media just talking, she finally spoke up and said something. She did an article in the New York Times where she talked about the entire situation and her thoughts. These are some of the things that she said in the article. She said, "My initial silence about what happened was out of fear for myself and my friends. Even as a victim, I have been met with skepticism and judgment. The way people have publicly questioned and debated whether I played a role in my own violent assault proves that my fears about discussing what happened were unfortunately warranted." She went on to say, "After a lot of self-reflection on that incident, I've realized that violence against women is not always connected to being in a relationship. Instead, it happens because too many men treat all women as objects, which helps them justify inflicting abuse against us when we choose to exercise our own free will." I think that Megan made a lot of valid points with those statements. Because back when this happened, a lot of criticism that were coming from black men, they were basically saying, well, she's sexual, or she shows her body, her lyrics are nasty. So that somehow made it justifiable for this violent act to be against her. I don't know, doesn't make sense to me. But she's right. For decades, women have been looked at as objects and not human beings. And even if they own their sexuality and still demand respect, people still just look at them as objects. So that's why it was so easy for everybody all over the internet to just throw this case away and blame it on her. This is why it's time for us to reevaluate what it means to protect our black women in this community. These are the people who birthed us, who raised us, who are there for us when we need them. It's time to protect them at all costs. There are so many factors that is against all of us, black men and black women. So we should each feel protected within our own communities. It's time to start treating black women better, and it's time to start shifting the narrative of how we view black women. And just connecting everything together, it's a good thing that Megan's mother, her father, her grandparents just told her who she was as a kid, who gave her the confidence, who let her know that she was somebody, who let her know that she was beautiful as a kid. So when all this happened that's going on right now, I think she's able to take it just a little bit better. It still is very hard for her, but she still has the teachings from her family. And I'm quite sure that's just helping her take this a little bit better. Alright y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Until next time.